Hi everyone. So today I have something interesting for you. So I was kind of cleaning out the house this weekend and I found my old box of baseball cards, and one specifically I always wondered what it was because I could never Google it, could never figure it out, and there was just seemingly no explanation for it. So that's this gold foil Topps Attax Barack Obama card with the red, white, and blue. It says Commander in Chief. It's very unique. Nothing looks like it in the entire set. And although you'll find it online certain places and you'll find it on lists certain places, and you'll even see pictures of it, very often it's excluded from a lot of websites and databases and stuff like that. So I always wondered, and back then I came across a video of another kid who had it, and kind of left it at that, thought the mystery would never be solved, but I was like, I'm holding on to this. This looks interesting. So when I got it out today, I decided, you know what, been, what has it been? It's been, 14 years, almost 13 years, right? Since 2009. So I said, why not break it out of the box? Let's do some Googling and, you know, figure it out. So, without further ado, this is what I have found. So, basically, I did a reverse image search on this along with some crafty Googling, and I found a baseball card research committee, and they have a nice blog here, and they were just looking into gold foil cards in general. And I think I'm going to help them crack the code on this one. But what was really interesting is they had this really grainy picture of the Obama one, and this, actually, if I reverse image search it, it comes up to, I think, just like a sports card tracking site. But if you look at any of this, that year, I mean, Obama, was elected in 2008. So that year they were making a bunch of cards from him, which makes it kind of hard to track this one down as it's extremely obscure. So anyway, that's where they hooked onto it, right? And also figuring out, are gold foils a real thing, and then quickly finding them on eBay and figuring that out. But it was like deja vu. They linked me to this video, and it's the same video that I saw 14 years ago when I pulled this card. And funnily enough, this kid in the video, I believe, if his bio was written at the same time, was probably around the same age as me. So both same age, we both pulled the same card. A little bit differently, though. So this is where it gets weird. So in the blog post, it notes, and it is correct in this video, he keeps referencing an event. And so because this card can't be found easily, the normal assumption or an obvious assumption would be like, was this like in a Topps exclusive event that they gave something out at? Now, first off, immediately I wanted to give them a better picture of it, and so I contacted them. But also, that confused me because I pulled this out of a gas station booster pack. I rode my bike down there, I paid all in change, and this is what popped out. So, that means it was in the wild. It wasn't an exclusive. So I actually think I've kind of figured out what happened here. So with a little more sleuthing, and by the way, just to show, I looked through so many sites to see if this is included, and very rarely it will be, but it'll only be listed. You won't ever get a picture. And, basically everyone considers the traditional baseline gold cards, everyone minus Obama, essentially. So, more digging, and I come across this site from 2009. And this guy basically is saying, hey, the 2009 Topps Tax have hit the eBay, and this is an actual listing. I'll link everything in the description. This is an actual listing from back then, right? And the Obama card is in it. And so the person's freaking out, like, what in the world is this? So, even though, as I think we're going to come to the conclusion, the Obama card is definitely a non-standard card, this random person on eBay grabbed it and probably thought it was a standard gold card and probably sold it, unfortunately for them. So we can see that, and we can see that. So it was floating around. Now, the plot thickens even more when you go down further on this site. Conveniently, the same poster posted basically Topps' release at the time of that set. So let's look at this checklist. Now, this reflects what we've seen on all these other sites, right? Obama shows up nowhere in the gold cards, nowhere in these starter deck exclusive cards, and nowhere on what other sites call the Legends, right? He shows up nowhere. Actually, the only place he does show up is one site calls him a. There's gold foil cards for each team. They call him the non-team card, right? So very confusing. So just kind of luckily, this kid's explaining the card, right? But what's really a great nugget of information is he has 3 other videos with it. So I was like, let's see what we can glean from this. So I watched this one where he goes through all the gold cards he has. Struck me first is that he has a lot of them. I was under the impression these were decently rare. So again, was he at some sort of event? Something like that. So I looked through that, and then really what busted it open is this video right here, the pack opening. So he has a pack in his hand with clear cellophane over it. Mine had a booster pack. These are completely different. As he goes through it, he opens up not just the Obama card. In the first video, I thought it was sealed alone, which is why it struck me as odd. But he goes ahead and pulls out Lou Gehrig, and then he pulls out Attax next. Okay, so this was released in 2009. Attax, basically, I think his last season was 2008, 2009. Very recent, right? Within printing time. So you have the Obama card, a recent person that they're labeling legend. If you look through his other video that I won't go back to, the one where he goes through all his gold foils, his full set, you see that they name a lot of these different people, superstars and stuff like that that are on the gold, and if they're really good, they'll name them a legend. But the old guys always get legend, right? So if you go back here, yeah, so like Lou Gehrig legend, right? So that might not seem interesting on its own, but now we're thinking, like, how in the world did this kid get 3 gold cards in one pack? Is this something that they handed out? Well, if we go back down to our handy-dandy original poster from it, we can see that, first, what threw me for a loop is I'm reading this, right, and Obama's not showing up in the list, first off, and second off, booster pack says it has 4 base cards and a code card, right? So how in the world would I have gotten this card unless it was part of the base? Because at this point, I'm thinking, okay, Obama's not a baseball player. He's got to be included in this Legends pack, right? It would be the only, like, logical place to put him. So I'm looking down here at Greg Maddux and Ty Cobb and all those guys, and I see starter pack exclusive, which throws me for even more of a loop because I'm like, how in the world would I get him then? Because I pulled it from a booster pack. So if you look at the starter pack details, right here it says 3 gold cards, including 1 exclusive retired legend, which is very interesting. Because in the video, he pulls Obama, of course, but he pulls, which is right down here. Let's see if I can get you over. I know the camera. I was going to screen capture, but I didn't have time. You have Greg Maddux right there, and then there's Lou Gehrig that he pulls. Lou Gehrig is that retired legend, obviously. And Greg Maddux, at the time of this printing, I mean, he might have been on his way out, but he's not considered retired yet. And so that means what this kid has to be opening is this starter pack. And, you know, the 34 base cards, the 2 code cards, the 3 gold cards. I bet you it was one of those boxes that they, you know, they package things. Sometimes you'll see Pokemon cards like that. They'll have a big fat base card set, and then they'll have the good cards like separated. And what I think happened is, you know, if you go through the video again, he talks about bins, or it kind of sounds like someone was doing a promotional at like a card show or something like that, where they had bought maybe a bunch of these Topps Attax starter packs, and kids were just grabbing them, or they were buying them for a certain amount. Maybe the seller was making, you know, using the bases to fill in stuff, and he had them. I don't know what was going on, but it definitely seems like it was not a Topps event. What it was he was at some sort of card event where he wasn't given a starter pack. He was just given, and I'll link this too, he was just given the 3 gold cards that were included in it. And that's evidenced by the 1 exclusive legend, or a retired legend being Lou Gehrig, and then Greg Maddux being the other one, which leaves only 1 left, right? And the only card left there is Obama. So that, by process of elimination, that means they consider Obama a gold card, which means he should be in this list right here. So there's another site that lists him as a gimmick card. It actually does say that Obama and CC Sabathia had gimmick cards, right? I've looked at the CC Sabathia card too. Doesn't seem like the same type of thing. So the Obama card is not even listed in the gold cards, yet it was included in the starter pack where a gold card was meant to be inserted. So sometime down the chain, they consider this a full-fledged gold card for the set, but didn't include it in the checklist. Is that because it's so rare that no one's going to want to, hunt for that? I don't know. I don't really know the true answer to that. But the only way that he could both get it into a starter pack and me to get it into a booster pack, with the retired legend being there and the other guy who actually plays baseball, also a legend, being there, is if they consider him a gold card, which would be part of this base set, so it could be mixed in. And even if you go to the branding over here, gold foil, there's, up here. There is see the starter pack exclusive legend, right? It has kind of a white border with a legend. We already know this as Commander-in-Chief, but it's not just stylistic. There's actually, I know it's grainy, but there is more of a silver tone on that outside edge that denotes an actual gold foil, and this is more of a bronze gold, almost even a brown in this picture. So Obama's card not only, is in the right positioning in that YouTube video's pack to be considered a gold foil card, it literally looks more like that than anything else. So this just leaves us with the massive question: if it's not in this list, and it's clearly been placed by Topps as if it is one, is this just some mega rare thing? And if so, why in the world would they release it and not tell anyone about it to get them hyped up about the set? Usually, if there's something rare, they're gonna promote it, right? And all I can think of is there's a possibility they did, I think, 44 different Obama cards that year. This became a design. The Topps Attack card artists cross-pollinated with the other card artists for all the other sets, and they decided everyone's going to do an Obama card this year. And for whatever reason, the rollout just was not, complete. It is mentioned, I believe the gentleman kid at the time mentions that these exclusive starter cards were a big deal because they have to do with licensing. So one of the reasons why they could have been in the starter pack only is because they only licensed them for so many cards. So could it be that for whatever reason this Obama license fell through, or the license to this photo, or to use it for a Topps Attack card? I mean, it's a fighting game. That might, I don't know how, legal teams and stuff like that would feel about that. They can get touchy about that. So could this have been something that fell through the cracks? Could we be looking at something that was supposed to be included in the gold set, got put into packs, but by the time this was released to the press, before everything was sent out, this was included in a few packs, and it just got shipped? I don't know. Honestly, that sounds like a great story. Maybe it's just something that's rare. The one thing that confuses me is why never announce it? It's never in the official literature. Why would you include something so rare that you can't even promote it to sell your product? So that's what leads me down to all those crazy rabbit holes of, could this be something that got slipped into a pack at a time in production before they realized it needed to get yanked? So it's definitely someone put a lot of effort into this card, because the red, white, and blues are completely different than anything else, and obviously the custom Commander-in-Chief. I think it was definitely in line with their Obama stuff for the year. As to why it's never mentioned or listed, who's to say? So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and that was a cool little discovery for my day.